Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Pigskin Addicts back again with another video. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into this. You guys see the title of this video. You guys see the thumbnail. Keenan Allen will be back. And it has been confirmed by the general manager, Tom Telesco. This has been one of those stories that has been kind of circulating, right, for a couple of weeks now since the end of the season. I know Daniel Popper, when he put out, whatever article that he put out, he named Keenan Allen as a likely cut or trade candidate. And obviously, right, for obvious reasons, we know what his salary cap number is, coming into the 2023 season. It's not super, super high, but, for a team that is trying to negotiate a new contract with Justin Herbert, right, and a team that really kind of overspent, right, last offseason, it would not have surprised anybody if he was cut or traded. But I think, when you look at this team, right, when you look at the fabric of this team, you can't just look at it from a number standpoint and say, oh, his number's high, right? What impact does Keenan Allen have out on the field? And he was injured a good portion of the 2022 season, but when he came back, he had an impact, right? He led pretty much all receiving categories since he came back from the injury, right? Whichever week that was. I can't remember which week it was, but he pretty much led the entire NFL in receiving numbers. So he came back hot, right? He didn't really miss a step. He was still getting open, right? He still looked like the same Keenan Allen. He does not look like a player that's really in decline. He's never been a speed guy. That's not been his thing, and he's still able to get open. So there's not really a huge decline there that you see when you turn on the film, right? When you watch him, he still runs the same routes, right? He still is very, very, very adept at getting open in any part of the field, especially in the middle of the field, right? He has these little moves, right, that he's perfected to get him open, right? Especially going up against faster guys. Keenan Allen, he's maybe a 4.5, 4.6 guy, but again, his shiftiness, his ability to get open, his ability to read defenses, and his ability to play the wide receiver position, kind of like a quarterback would, right? All those abilities really, really lend to him being a great weapon for the Chargers, and I still think he is, and I'm excited about him coming back in 2023. It was interesting. Tom Telesco, he compared him to Andre Reed, Charlie Joyner, right? Those are Hall of Fame guys, right? He said Keenan Allen is kind of our Hall of Fame type of guy, right? That's how we see him around here. Not only did he reject it, right? He kind of laughed at it, right? He kind of seemed like it was a comical thing that the Chargers would get rid of Keenan Allen, right? He kind of played it off so that it was ridiculous, right? He made it sound ridiculous in nature, which tells me that they are very, very bullish on Keenan Allen still. After 10 years, they are still very bullish on Keenan Allen. And the number one thing that I think, right, that really, really makes it, that really pushes it over the edge is his relationship with Justin Herbert. Now, both of those guys are not huge on social media, right? They're not posting pictures and all of this stuff together, but everything that I've heard, right, when I've heard, people talk and some of the players even talk, those guys are close. Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen are really, really close. They're very, very close, and they have a really good relationship, and they are pretty good friends off the field too, is what I'm hearing, right? So that relationship between those two guys is really, really, really like on the same page, right? So you want to have, if you're Justin Herbert, you want to have that guy there with you, right? Especially when you look at the numbers that other wide receivers around the league are making. Keenan Allen's $21 million is not going to break the bank, right? Now, obviously, would you want that number lower? Yes, you would. But his $21 million will not break the bank. And I think, he's only getting like 17 or 18 million of that cap hit, right? Because the other money is wrapped up in bonuses and signing bonuses and a roster bonus. So he's only going to get his actual base salary is like 15 or 16 million this year, which is that's not crazy for what wide receivers are being paid now. So he can go anywhere. If the Chargers were to release him or trade him, he can go anywhere else and get 15 million in base salary. He can go and get that from pretty much anywhere, right? Any team would want him. They would be ready and willing to pay him that because he's a 90 catch guy. If he's healthy, he's a 90 catch guy. 8 touchdowns, right? Well over 1,000 yards. That is very, very valuable, especially in today's NFL with all this offense going on. Keenan Allen is a very, very valuable part of this organization, this team, and I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that he's going to be back. Now, what does this mean, though, for the team, right? What does this mean for salary cap implications? To me, this means that they are looking to cut some salary. They're looking to shed some money off of the defense. And to me, that is the absolute right call. I've been talking about it here for at least the past couple of months. All of this money that's tied up in defense, you got to let some of these guys go. Everybody can't be getting paid on defense. So to me, if you're looking at, I think there's going to be one big cut, right? One big cut, one big trade. And to me, the only guy that makes any sense if you're going to do this is Khalil Mack. I think Khalil Mack is going to end up being cut. I don't know when it will happen, but I think he's going to end up being cut. I think the Chargers might try to shop him on the trade market, possibly. Maybe try to recoup some of the compensation that the Chargers sent to the Chicago Bears for Khalil Mack. They sent a second-round pick. At this point, I don't think you're going to get a second-round pick for Khalil Mack. Maybe you might get a fourth or fifth, right? Maybe they might try to cut their losses, in the trade market if nothing is available or if there's not a favorable trade for the Chargers. And I think they do cut him. I think they cut him because, again, that's going to be a huge savings. If they cut Khalil Mack, they would be saving more than $21 million in salary. $21 million. He only has a $6 million dead cap hit, and his cap number for this year is over $27 million. So they would be shedding a lot of salary, right? And a $6 million dead cap hit means nothing when you're able to save 3 times that amount by cutting this guy. So I think he is going to be a cap casualty. I honestly do. He's an aging player, and I've said this, right? He's been a great player. I think he probably gets into the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done, right? I think he's been one of the best players in the league since he entered. I think he gets Hall of Fame votes, and I do think he eventually gets in. But he is an aging player, right? Just in 2022, he had to take Wednesdays off. He took Wednesdays off for rest and maintenance and things like that. If you have to take Wednesdays off, right? What makes you think that he is not going to take Wednesdays off in 2023? And what makes you think that he is going to get any better or that he is going to improve? People have to understand, right? His first game as a Charger was amazing. 3 sacks, right, against his former team, the Raiders. He balled out. He was unblockable. Everything looked great, right? Now, when you take a look at the rest of the 16 games, he only had 5 sacks in the rest of the 16 games. If you take away week 1, he only had 5 sacks the rest of the 16 games. That is not worth $27 million in salary. The Chargers know that. Most fans should know that. Most fans should understand this. They have to move on. They have to move on from him, and they have to get that salary cap relief. I hear a lot of people talking about, the pass rush was so bad last year, and if we let Khalil Mack go, then, I can imagine how bad it's going to be. 5 sacks in 16 games is not anything that a rookie can't do. It's not something that, anybody else can't do, right? You can have anybody come in and do that. 5 sacks in 16 games. Now, he's not going to have the name recognition that Khalil Mack has, but, as far as the production goes, who are you choosing? Are you choosing 8 sacks from a aging defensive player, or are you choosing 90 plus catches, 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns from Keenan Allen in an offensive league? Give me the offensive guy every single time. So I think the Chargers have to move on. They're going to have to cut their losses, and to me, it seems like this is nut cutting time for Tom Telesco. It's nut cutting time for Brandon Staley. As much as Brandon Staley loves Khalil Mack, I don't think he's going to have a say in it. I honestly don't. Honestly, don't think he's going to have a say in it. He can want him all he wants to, but he's not going to have a say in it. The Chargers need to reshape. They need to reshape the franchise. They need to reshape the roster. Everything has to be behind Justin Herbert and the offense. This needs to be an offensive-oriented team. They got a new offensive coordinator, a younger guy who is very, very innovative, right? Very creative. They have to shape this team around offense. And if you do that, you're going to be okay. You can fill in here and there on defense. You don't need superstars. You don't need all pros. You don't need aging older players, taking up a bunch of the salary cap, in order to think that you have a good defense, right? You can fill in. You can do your homework in free agency. You can do your homework in the draft. You can fill things in. And you don't need to have the best defense of all time. You need to be good at certain categories. That's it. That's where the Chargers need to go. If they focus on that, they are going to be fine. But I think that this is the right call. And honestly, I don't think Khalil Mack could be the only cap casualty. I think there could be a surprise cap casualty as well, too. I'm looking at Austin Johnson. Possibly Austin Johnson. He had that really, really bad knee injury That's going to take some time to come back from. I think he's due almost $10 million next year, right? The Chargers can cut him. They can save some more money there too. They're going to have to cut bait with a couple of these overpaid defensive guys. They're just going to have to. And as much as it sucks, and as much as Staley wants to build this super high powered defense. In reality, it's just not that. He's not the coach to do that. The Chargers, they understand this at this point now. Now you got to go with number 10. Number 10 is going to get you to the promised land. It's not going to be Brandon Staley. It's not going to be this shitty defense. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to be number 10. That guy is going to get you to the promised land. And that's who you have to build behind. That's who you have to make sure has all of his weapons that he needs in order to do that. That's who you have to get behind. This is an offensive team. This is an offensive team. This is a Justin Herbert-led team. As much as I love Derwin James, as much as I love the defensive guys, this is Justin Herbert's team. And he will be in that Charger uniform long after those guys are gone, long after Derwin's gone, long after Khalil Mack, long after Joey Bosa. Number 10 is going to be that guy. That's the future of this team. It's not anything defensively. It's not anything, coach-wise with Staley and all that stuff. Number 10 is the future of this organization. He is the face of it. And he needs everything that he needs in order to succeed. And they got to make sure that they get it to him. And this is the right step. Keeping his best, most consistent weapon on this team, on this roster, right? Pay him his money. He deserves it. But we got to keep him in tow. And I think they're making the right decision here. I haven't agreed with everything. But like I said, I think I'm fair. I will come on here and I will give credit when credit is due. Keeping Keenan Allen is a major, major decision. I love it. And I think it's going to do a whole lot of good next season. I can't wait to watch him in the Kellen Moore offense. I think he's going to have a really, really good year, Pro Bowl type season. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I just wanted to come on here and cover this. I think this is an interesting story. I think this was interesting the way that Tom Telesco approached this. He was asked about it on a Pat McAfee show the other day as well, too. And I think he said something similar. I don't think he went into as much detail, but he just completely shot that down this morning. He just completely shot it down. Great news. Great news. Great news for me. So that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I'll be back again tomorrow with more content. And don't forget to smash the like button on your way out as well, too. That's all I got for this one, guys. Until next time.